Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is David from David Amazing Cuber 16 and welcome back to another cubing video. I'm recording this a couple days after I uploaded the video for how to solve Rubik's Cube notation. If you guys do want to watch that video, it's the next video in the upload section. I'll try to put it in the description below for you guys to watch it. But basically that was how to solve 3x3, what is notation. So if you do look up that video, that is what you're going to come up with. And I basically discussed the main forms of notation. I had a couple pauses there and there because I wasn't necessarily prepared. I like making these videos not so prepared because then you get my genuine reaction. So today I wanted to try and teach you a couple better ways to get the cross solved using notation, except we're not really going to be using full notation. I wanted to show you guys what notation was, and I actually forgot to mention something, that these centers will never ever change. Remember that. Except for when you go to stuff like this. Then we're gonna actually teach you how to solve this in another video, just not this one. But yeah, I'm gonna be teaching you how to solve 3x3 in this video, not the entire thing. I'm gonna be trying to teach you how to solve the side, maybe going into the F2L, not F2L, but second layer, middle layers, like what I like to call it. But you're probably gonna start on white side, so let's actually take a look. So as you can see, we have one piece solved, and I'm going to be trying to help you guys get the other pieces, kind of like these two pieces and this piece, into the top layer. So the first step that I'd say is, if you already have one in the top layer, try to align this by using some U moves and U primes to align them in the correct spot. So we can see that this blue edge is now aligned with its correct center. So now we can look around the cube and try to look for some more centers. And then you'll see that these two pieces can actually get pushed down to actually enter. So we can actually enter those two in the bottom because they were all the way at the top, and they align perfectly for a perfect insert. But then you're going to be asking, well, this one's a little bit awkward. How do we put it in there? Because if you do the F move, you're not going to be able to get it in there. And even if you put it to the side here, you're still not going to be able to solve it. So you might be wondering, how do you do this? If you already know how to do this, like how you're able to insert it and whatnot, then whatever, skip to a different part of the video. I'll try to put it like to skip to this part for the side part. But for this insert, you're basically just going to be bringing, well, if it's in this case, because you could do it either side if you want, but I'm going to be showing you when the edge is on this side, and you need to enter it in the front centerpiece. So you need to do an R prime to put it, align it with the center. And you might notice that we do take out the edge, but you'll see what I mean. You can now see that we can safely insert it. So you're going to be doing an R prime and then an F move to insert the piece, and then you can do an R move to insert the other edge. Now, knowing that this one's in the correct spot, we can see that these ones aren't actually in the correct spot. So we actually do have to realign these. If you already caught that, good job. Now, basically, we do have to take these pieces out, and just start with one. So I'm going to start with taking out orange. You can take out orange if you want, and then align it with its correct centerpiece. Just keep moving it along the top until it aligns with its correct centerpiece with using U moves and U primes, and you can get the orange piece selected with its correct center, and then you can do an F2 of any kind, F2 or F2 prime, do what you want, and then we've actually got these two centers in the correct spot. Now the next one out of its place is actually this orange edge piece, and we keep spinning it around the cube until it aligns with its correct edge, and then we do an F2 move, and then it inserts. Now we're on to green, and as you're gonna, just to make sure the edge is aligned with its center as in the correct slot with the centerpiece, and then you know that it's in the correct place. So next up, we're going to be doing however many U moves we need to do to be able to insert it with its correct center, and green was already in its correct center, so you're good there. You can do the F move and insert it into the cross piece. So that might be a little bit tricky. So you obviously will get cases where kind of maybe in these kind of awkward positions. So I'm going to be trying to start off with the red piece here to make this a little bit more simple. So I already said from this kind of position, you can do the R prime move, so you can align it with its center, and then do the F move. And sometimes there's the R move in there, but it's not necessary in this case because you have no centers already in there, no edges in there. But you are able to insert the edge from doing that move. So from this move, if it's in the middle, then you just use a U prime, R prime, then F move, and then you can insert the piece in the correct spot. So now we're going into the next set of edges. You can already see that this one can insert, but it's not in the correct spot. So if you want to get my complete advice, I would say if you get this case where it looks like this, try and move this piece to the top layer of some sort. But if you do see this, moving it to this kind of position to solve the blue piece, because that's the one that's over here, you can do the U prime move, which will actually align the edge with its correct center, and then you can do an R prime, which will insert the piece. We got kind of lucky here with another orange piece inserted, but if it's not, then it'll look something. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, this piece can't go in like this, or if you do a U2, you can't get it in. So this is again where we're going to be using that algorithm, that kind of algorithm that I taught you, which is the holding it. You can do the U prime, R prime, F, and then the rotation up, which is the R, to insert the edge. Now, when it comes to cases kind of in this position where this is already is, you can just do an F prime too. So you can just insert the edge. But if you want to do it a different way, I guess you could do the F moves or something like that. There really isn't a more intuitive way to do it besides that F2. So if you do get a case where it's just the edge up, start doing it like that, and when you have to, start misaligning them. If you want a more detailed video on that, please do ask me for it. I've tried to do this the best I can, but if you do need more help, please do request it in the comments below for a more detailed video, and I'll try my best. So at this point, now that you've got the cross, we're going to be starting to work on the bottom layer and trying to get the side done. Now, the side is probably a point you can do intuitively, but it's not necessarily going to be easy. Now, basically for this, we are only going to be focusing on the corners that have a white piece on it. So this white piece, this white piece, this white piece, and wherever the other one is, which is right here. So as you can see, this white piece is already aligned. So for the cross, we can just insert these kind of like we did before. And in this case, when you have the kind of the corner in a basic position like this, you can do an R move, a U prime, and then, wait, is that U? I actually can't remember. That's a U prime, and then you can do an R2, or wait, an R prime. I can't remember notation. And I know you guys you're probably already getting mad at me because these corners are in the wrong spot, but just to teach you the basic part of inserting, this is what we're going to do. Now, as you can see, these corners are out, so you can just do, for this example, you can rotate it if you only know the R1, and you can do R, U, and R prime. And now we actually can have the position where we can actually insert it, and this is the L version, which it's going to be weird, so don't worry about it. Is L prime, U, and L is the basic way to insert the corner. And this one's actually in the correct spot, which is actually kind of neat. And then we have this next piece, which can insert, again, using the same move, L prime, U, L. And now that we have this, we can actually see we got lucky with one correct corner, but we have these three corners that are not in the correct spot, so we're going to have to realign those. And the way to, I already taught you how to blah, blah, blah. I've already taught you guys how to take a corner out with the other algorithm, which is R, U, and RI, and then you can actually kind of see that this corner is supposed to go in here, and then you can do R, U, I, and then R prime. Now, for some other cases, you might see, okay, now this corner is able to align on the bottom piece, so you can do the other one, which is L prime, U, L, and then you can try to align the other corner, which is R, U, I, and then RI, or R prime. I don't know, I call them I and prime all the time, but yeah. Now that's the side done. Now those are basic inserts, so they are very easy, but you can also get different cases kind of like this that I'm about to show you. So you can get cases like this on 3x3 where if you're solving the side, you're like, oh, okay, I've got a corner here. And you might have a hard time inserting it because you can't just insert it like that. So if you are wondering that, good for wondering. But a basic way you can do this is actually lifting up the edge. So I guess if it's in this position here, you can do an L prime, a U2, and then L, which allows it to put it in the layer, like the top layer, and it's actually aligned to a point where you can insert it easily. And then you can do the old-fashioned move, put it to the right side of the cube, do L prime, U, and L. And there you go, now you got the side. I'll be showing you the other way, which is basically where you do R, U prime 2, and then you do R prime, and then you can insert the edge with the R, U prime, R prime. They're basically the basic ways to get to the side and the cross. I could do F2L, but I think that's a little bit too much in this video because you're probably going to learn this. I think I might put some algorithms in there just because it'll be probably a little easier for you to understand if you watch the last video about notation. Now, notation will help a little bit in this video, but I think you will be able to figure this out logically. But the next video, we will have to use notation to actually kind of help you out get to this next point. Now, the next point is going to be middle layer, so please do stay tuned for that. But I do want to go over a couple things first, is that this was basically how to solve the cross and the side on the 3x3. And as you can see, we do have the finished layer. And a lot of people can get to this point, but after this, they do get stuck. So if this has seemed easy, I'm very glad that it has seemed easy because it means you're on the right track. And if you did have a hard time, please do comment for more detailed videos. I'm going to try my best to help you out. And also, if you do have other problems, please do comment what the problem is, and I'll try to answer that in a video. But for now, that's all I've had. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, of course, I'll see you next time. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.